Prepare yourself to enter a strange new world of amazing sights and sounds. Star Crash. From deep space, from the farthest reaches of the haunted universe, comes the supreme galactic spectacle. Star Crash. Rated PG.
You blow it! You blow it! You blow it! You blow it!
Welcome to You Blew It. This is the show where we watch turd sandwiches in HD so you don't have to, reliving our childhoods one Blu-ray disc at a time. I'm Roden, and as always joining me here is Camaro Kev. What's happening, man?
What is going on? What's going on?
I think you know what's going on, and I think I know what's happening because we've been sitting here for the last, hour and a half?
We've been crashing for quite some time. We've been star crashing.
Wow, that was good.
Actually,
That was really good.
Yeah, thanks, man. How long was this movie? I didn't even look at it.
I don't know, but it felt like fucking 5 hours.
The end keeps going and going and going.
Oh, my God. We've watched Star Crash from 1978. Released by Roger Corman?
Yeah,
in the United States or something, maybe?
Yeah, it's an Italian-made movie.
Yeah.
I guess...
As far as we can tell, Italian-made in 1978, maybe.
Yeah.
Could have been earlier, but it seems like it must have been after Star Wars. Because a lot of this stuff is like scene for scene.
Yeah, online
it
says that it was like part of the... after the Star Wars craze, they were cashing in, but apparently the director takes issue with that. That he was a sci-fi fan, and it just coincidentally happened to be that he was making Star Crash the same time.
Wouldn't it have been great if this movie came out right before Star Wars, or before Star Wars, and George Lucas was like, "I want you guys to watch this film, Star Crash."
Yeah,
and I want you guys at ILM to take note of some of these god-awful special effects.
Man.
Some of the worst special effects I think I've ever seen in my life.
And so inconsistent, like many different effects, tricks, and it's just a mess. It's a mess.
And everything's superimposed, right? So it's like like when they superimpose something on the film, it gets so grainy.
But they seem to do it.
But they seem to do it, and they seem to do it like way too soon. Like they'll superimpose the other stuff on frames that are way earlier than they need to be.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Does that make sense? What I'm trying to say? Like it gets super grainy, really, like before any of the special effects.
Right. That's what I was gonna say. Like what you're saying is like we'll look at a shot and we'll go like, why is this so fucking blurry and grainy looking? And then all of a sudden,
like a minute before, some guy takes out a
laser sword, and then you're like, oh, that's why.
Yeah.
But why? Just do a cutaway and
make it grainy. Make it grainy when he pulls out the laser.
That's what I mean.
sword.
Do a cutaway and then come back to when the dude pulls out the special effect.
Yeah.
It's
this was like it's straight up a student film. It has to be.
Yeah.
Italian student film.
I'm just grabbing the box here. Yeah. Even though pointless because I can't see shit anymore.
Yeah.
Especially when it's dark like this.
I know. Here in the Family Fun Center, the Roden Family Fun Center is very... the lighting is not great.
And there's a lot on the back of this fucking box. For what?
It's a book.
For what?
It's a book.
Okay, we did have a listener who...
Yes.
I guess we had made mention that we're thinking about watching this, and...
right.
And a listener wrote us a little email. So,
and this is from listener Keith from Falcon, Colorado.
Oh, wow.
Falcon.
That sounds
awesome.
Yeah, like Falcon Crest. Remember the 80s TV show?
No.
I guess you don't.
No, I do not.
So I think it was a nighttime soap opera. Falcon Crest? You don't remember that?
No, I don't remember that at all.
All right.
Huh.
Anyways.
Anyway. Listener Keith says, "Hey guys, just caught where you said you would be watching Star Crash, and that bit of news fills my heart with joy. I cannot wait to hear your discussions around this, the pinnacle of cinematic achievement. This movie has a production quality that easily equals that of a Saturday morning live-action kids show.
True.
Yes, that is...
Probably look better.
That's great.
Kids shows probably look better.
Has acting on par with a third-grade Christmas play. Also, yes.
Yep.
And it delivers recycled cliches harder than Zack Snyder could ever dream. I think Keith should be the new co-host of this show.
While I was watching this, I couldn't help but think of that. What was that movie called that we watched, the last Snyder?
Oh, Rebel Moon?
Yeah, there was very much a quality to this where it was like,
cliche after
cliche, hackneyed nonsense in the sense very much like
Indeed.
very much like
maybe
that
Zack
movie.
Snyder is a huge fan of Luigi Corsi.
Yeah,
or the actual director of this film. Let's see. Keith continues. You have the hot chick that spends the majority of the movie wearing environmentally appropriate bikini outfits.
Dude.
True. Very
true.
You've got the guy that fights with a totally not a lightsaber and uses some space magic that looks suspiciously like the Force.
Yeah, true.
You've got the robot that speaks with a cowboy twang, just like in The Black Hole.
Oh,
very true.
Never seen The Black Hole. I've never watched that movie.
Did we not watch The Black Hole for
I've never seen it.
This show?
I've never seen it. I know, like, I think I saw part of it, like at school when they showed it on like a weekend.
Okay.
But I was bored to tears. It was Disney's sort of like, let's do a Star Wars thing. And But that's interesting.
I don't think I've seen it either.
I didn't know the robot.
Thought we had watched it for this, but maybe it was just on a preview or a trailer was on something else that we watched or something. Two things really stand out in this movie. First is the appearance of an undeniably beautiful 26-year-old David Hasselhoff. That's not where I thought that was going.
Yeah.
Sporting an absolute helmet of a hairdo.
Very true.
Yes. The second is that in the midst of all the atrocious acting in this movie is an absolute magnificent-looking Christopher Plummer shows up and delivers Shakespearean-grade monologues.
True.
While the other characters stand around staring at him in awe.
Yep.
Like, holy fuck, that's what acting looks like.
Christopher Plummer, 2 years older than I am currently.
Yes.
When he made Star Crash. He was 49.
That's right. Anyways, can't wait. Troglodyte reprobate Keith in Falcon, Colorado. And by the way, troglodytes
is mentioned
have an appearance in this film.
Yeah.
And an ensuing battle with troglodytes in a cave.
I believe it is Hasselhoff who says, like...
No, it's Acton. It's the guy
it's Acton who says the troglodytes. Yeah. Okay.
By the way, Acton, a actor named... Real life name. Oh God,
God damn it! What was it? Majoro.
Oh shit! I just passed it. Let me get back to it.
He's got
Marjo Gortner.
Marjo Gortner. Weird name. Weird look to it.
Weird look to the dude.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, real weird acting choices.
Helmet haired as well.
Has no fucking emotion whatsoever. I don't know if he's supposed to be like an android or what.
I said he was kind of like
some weird like superpowers. He's kind of the dude that has kind of the Jedi powers.
Yeah, he's kind of got the Force.
But yeah, this guy doing a little digging on Marjo. Yeah, right. Comes out that his parents kind of turned him into some sort of child evangelical priest or evangelist.
He was the first ordained preacher at the age of 4.
At the age of 4.
According to Wikipedia.
Yeah.
And I don't... What's confusing about that to me is like, so... I guess it's showmanship. So I guess if you're brought up in that world, it doesn't surprise me that he would go into acting Weird looking dude though too. Wild eye.
He kind of looks like that guy that has the burnt up face. That actor that has the
you're
burnt
right.
Up face.
Yeah.
That's been in a few movies that we've watched in
and
the past.
was in a ton of like 80s TV shows.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
What's that guy's name? I forget.
I don't
But
know.
yeah, you're right. He looks a lot like him.
And that's who I thought it was.
That was the dude that was in. Was he in Sword and the Sorcerer?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we've got David Hasselhoff, which was mentioned by listener Keith, and Christopher Plummer. And he's completely correct. Christopher Plummer is the only one that's actually doing acting in this movie.
I read
and he is really fucking chewing scenery in these monologues that he gives, man.
I read a quote from Christopher Plummer who was asked about this movie.
Yeah.
And he said...
So great.
He said that he got a trip to Italy out of it. And he said...
to Rome.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
And he was like, I would shoot a porno if I could go hang out in Rome or whatever he said.
Totally.
So he said it took like 3 days to film his stuff.
Yeah, he's not in the movie very much.
No, and he plays the Emperor, which in Star Wars lingo would be the bad guy, but in this movie,
but there is a bad Emperor,
and he's called the Count. He's Count something or other in this,
but he just wants to be.
Which
the
also
Emperor.
There's a Count Dooku in the prequels of Star Wars. So there are evil counts in Star Wars, and in this one there's an evil count and a good emperor.
Count Zartharn.
That actor
Zartharn
was a weird looking dude.
Really needed to focus on brushing his teeth.
Brushing his teeth. His face was all pockmarked up.
Yep.
He had really like long hair that he slicked back, but then it ducktailed on the sides. It was quite the gut on him.
Yeah.
Quite the dicky do, but he's wearing like tight like pleather looking outfit, and then had a cape that he oftentimes didn't really know what to do with the cape. So he just kind of like make flourishing, like what do you call it? Like grab it and do like just completely dramatic, like flowing movements.
Yeah, but he wasn't good at it. He wasn't good at it.
Totally awkward. It was just like, I need to do something with this cape.
Right. Yeah, this movie, well, it says it has a runtime of 1 hour and 32 minutes.
Which would make sense because there is a scene where they keep showing these ships launching out of.
Like, it's the same like shot over and over.
And I mean over and over. Like for some reason they're trying to impress us that there's this many ships that are being launched.
Yeah, but then you never see that many ships actually on screen at the same time. You only see about 3.
You do. At any point you only see about 3.
Right.
And I was like, and it was so bizarre how long this went on, and then I realized, they're padding for time because
of course,
a feature-length film, I believe, especially back then, had to be 88 minutes to be considered a feature-length film.
Yeah.
So many instances in the end of this movie where they were just showing footage over and over to pad the time out.
And it was to the point of ridiculousness and really kind of made me think of Spaceballs.
Oh yeah.
A lot. You know, where at the beginning, like they show the giant ship, like, you know, going across the camera,
keeps going,
or going across the screen, and it just keeps going and going and going. And a lot of this movie is that. Yeah. You know.
Yeah. The beginning shot is, I mean, it's just straight Star Wars. It's just a big long ship that is going over the top of the camera, and I was just like, God, I mean, how could you be so fucking blatant?
Yeah, that was pretty blatant. Although I will say that a lot of movies kind of rip that off to varying degrees of goodness.
True. You know? And these guys have to be the first to jump on it. Like, again, this thing came out in
if it came out in 78, because
the original Star Wars
was 77.
So like a year later, these guys turned it around, dude. They were like, we're gonna do it.
But I mean, it could even have been before then too, right? Because it could have come out in Italy in 70, like early 78 or even late 77 as well.
Maybe,
we don't know.
That's true. I'm just saying they did quick work of
that's true
making a movie that was like on the coattails.
Yeah,
of Star
regardless,
Wars. Like
it was pretty quick turnaround. So
I don't even know
this fucking thing.
Did.
So one of the things I noted in the beginning too is like we're on this ship, and then this ship gets close to a planet. Then like all this kind of like lava lamp shit happens.
Yeah.
Superimposed lava lamp stuff happens and people start going crazy.
Some of it's almost video toaster looking at some points where they do these like random shots that are showing like hyperspace or whatever it is, or it's just it looks so out of place.
They show a shot of the interior of this spaceship before it gets into trouble. And it's like this like elevator that these two soldiers are in, and they get out and they start walking down this hall. That's obviously this corridor is way too tight.
Yeah,
for two people to walk side by side. Because they really
part
just
ways
trying
to let this guy walk between them too.
And the guy coming the opposite way to get into the elevator, like bumps into one of them on accident. But once he gets into the elevator, it spins. It doesn't go up and down. No. It just spins to a different hallway, which made me think that they could have just used like an adjoining hall.
Yeah, you said like,
or maybe a doorway.
Yeah,
in between the two hallways.
Maybe this thing did go up and down and go twist around. Like they never showed it, but like maybe that was like maybe.
I think that was the hope.
Yeah,
what it looked like. Anyway. So they get close to this planet. We got a bunch of lava lamp shit that happens.
Yeah.
They fire off 2 escape pods,
which I missed.
Yeah. Well, they only show 2, but apparently there's been 5.
I missed none of these things firing off. I just saw this thing kind of blow up.
Yeah.
I thought, was it the ship
and
that
then
blew
the
up?
Whole ship blows up. Yeah.
But it was the ship.
Cut to our 2 main characters. What is it? Stella Star
and Octon or
Octon? Acton
is the
that's Marjo Gortner.
Yeah, and I forget who the actress is, but
Caroline Munro. She was one of the Bond girls.
Yeah, and okay, 12-year-old me often comes out when we do this show, as does you. Total babe.
Oh my God.
Total babe.
Oh my God. This woman is incredibly gorgeous.
Listener Keith, spot on. When he was talking about you get a lot of ladies running around in questionable attire.
She literally, spends most of the movie with the exception of like the first scene. Like
towards the end, she gets covered up more, but like the first half of the movie, she's in a bikini the entire time.
I'd say 2/3 of this movie is like she is just in a bikini, which is fine.
Yeah,
that's fantastic. It's wonderful.
She's gorgeous.
Incredibly so. Yes, Caroline Munro. So they're together on this. These spaceships just are the dumbest looking fucking things.
Space looks awful too.
Oh yeah.
There's so many red, blue, and yellow giant stars amongst regular looking stars whenever they show the universe.
Yeah.
And it looks it's like Christmas lights.
And whenever they get too close to a planet too, like the planets are never like actually like perfect spheres.
They're not perfect spheres, and they also don't look far away.
No.
They look right there. They look like right. It's so dumb.
So they come across, or they're getting chased or something by. They call them cops.
Yeah, they call them police. Yeah, they're calling it. Like,
oh my God, it's the cops.
Police. Yeah, the cops. Look out!
Yeah, and I don't know what they did wrong. But
they're smugglers. They do say at some point that they're smugglers.
Oh, okay.
So, but
I missed that.
I just assume that the police know them fairly well, and one of the head captain police officer is a bald dude with pointy ears who's tinted green.
I don't think he had pointed ears. He was just painted green
and bald. Okay,
and bald. Yes.
And then he's got
and then a penis robot.
And a penis robot
with like listener Keith said, a cowboy twang.
Yes,
for a voice.
For no
He's like
reason.
supposed to be kind of the comedy relief, kind of like C-3PO maybe.
Yeah.
In Star Wars.
And totally a not robot looking robot. Like
No.
clearly a dude in a pleather outfit.
Yeah.
With a helmet on.
A helmet on, and kind of reminiscent of Darth Vader too.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah,
Like
all black. Yeah.
Yep, all black.
Yeah.
There's some greeblies on his suit that kind of are very reminiscent of Vader as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So they get arrested. They get captured by these cops,
Yeah.
and then they get put in prison or work camps.
Yeah, yeah.
I still have no idea why.
But there's a weird like the judge
Yeah,
is a
yeah.
fucking like squid. It's a squid head dude.
Yeah, it's like a brainiac squid dude with like squid
With
arms
little weird tentacle things
that are like stop motion tentacles.
Yeah.
And he sentences them to do. I think she's sentenced to life.
To life.
Yeah, in a labor camp.
Uh-huh.
And he's not.
He's sentenced to 200 years in a different labor camp.
Is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah.
And what's ridiculous about this is we're introduced to them as good people, but we're being told they're bad.
Right.
And, obviously when they caught them, there's a history of something going on to put them away for this long.
Yeah, and I don't know if they were getting blamed because as I said earlier, like they came upon one of these, they went into hyperspace, which by the way, hyperspace is just like a screensaver from the 1980s is what it looks like.
Very true.
But
true. So you think it's...
But maybe they thought that they blew up the ship or something?
I must have missed that.
Because they came across one of the... Oh, well, no, that can't be true because they were chasing them and then they went into hyperspace. And then when they came out of hyperspace, they found the escape pod.
Oh, that's right. And
right?
I laughed at the fact that
her spacesuit is fucking just incredible, by the way.
Her spacesuit is garbage. And I love that that Acton or whatever sends her out to do everything.
Right.
So he's like, I'm going to stay on the ship. You go check out this ship that we found.
Yeah.
She goes and finds a dude inside who's like comatose or something. They bring him back on the ship and they're having a dialogue. And all of a sudden, what pops on the screen at one point? The cops answering one of the things are like, oh man, at least he's still alive. And then all of a sudden you hear a voice off screen go, but you won't be soon. We're back. And you're like, we can go
and
through
we're listening to your whole conversation.
Like, what? Hang up the phone, dude. Like, what are you doing? Like,
that's exactly right. They forgot to hang up.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And so that's, you're right. That's when they get arrested and then they get sentenced to.
They get sentenced by the Squidworth.
Yeah. And again, for some reason, they're bad people because we're told they're bad people.
Right.
Even though we're having a great time with them. She's hot. Dude's totally weird. The chemistry between them, though, are so fun to watch.
Oh, God.
It's so fun.
It's so stiff, man. It's so stiff. Everything about this movie is stiff.
So she ends up, in this work camp where they're dropping orbs of power down into a furnace.
Orbs of they said it was like uranium or something or something like that. Yeah.
And she befriends a couple of older people
very quickly.
And
she's like, I've been here. She goes, I've been here for 12 hours. She's in her bikini.
And
high heels.
That's right.
And she's like, I've been here for 12 whole hours. We can't continue on like this. And then you look over and you see these two people that have obviously been there for decades.
Yeah.
Right? And they're just like, you have to just keep working or you're going to get whipped.
Yeah, they'll beat you with your energy sticks or whatever.
Energy sticks.
Yeah.
And then a soldier overhears their conversation and literally beats her with an energy stick, and you can see the red marks on her body.
You can see it. Yeah, I noticed that too.
It was like, oh shit!
This actress whipped her a couple of times during this.
She got hit.
Yeah. I didn't say anything. I'm glad you noticed that too. I was like, damn, dude, they must have taken a couple of takes where she was.
Oh yeah, because she had some red marks on her body. But then she just kind of slinks away as like a fight ensues.
Yeah.
And like
and don't forget there was a piece of throwaway dialogue when they were talking about their escape. Like, that furnace is getting really hot. I think it would only take one laser shot to make it explode.
That's right. Yeah. So this one of the ladies that she's talking to, like, pushes the guard, steals his weapon, shoots the guard, and then
there's just
it's just chaos after that. And then both those people die. And what's her name again? Selena Starr?
No, not Selena. Stella Starr.
Stella Starr slinks away and lets these other people fight for her.
Very nice
as
people.
She just fucking takes off. Like, she doesn't do shit.
Yeah, the lady gets shot early.
Yeah.
The dude gets shot twice, you pointed out. Like, didn't he already get shot?
Yeah, he did.
His last shot, he gets hit by a laser and he's falling down. He fires a laser that hits the furnace and it explodes just like Stella Starr said it would.
Right.
Cut to her running in like a cornfield.
Yeah, she's
So apparently this work camp was on
not corn, but like grass.
Yeah, like tall wheat, not wheat, but like
ocean grass.
Yeah,
you know,
but very tall. Like I say corn just because it was taller than she was. Like,
you say corn because you don't know what actual corn looks like.
I know what actual corn looks like. I just don't know a way of describing a field of 7 feet
dune grasses.
Yeah. And she's running through it. And I'm like, okay, I guess this is on a planet somewhere. And then a ship lands as she's running away.
It's the cops.
Right.
And so they come and grab her and reveal to her that since she has escaped, she's been chosen to carry out a secret mission. And since you need a partner, we're going to get Acton as well.
Yeah, we're going to break him free too.
Yeah, and then they bring in the Emperor, Christopher Plummer.
Yeah, in a hologram.
He holograms in. And this is when we first get kind of the main dialogue from the robot, from L.
That's
the
true,
robot that kind of looks like Darth Vader. And he goes, "Oh, here he is. Yeah. He's coming to us as a hologram
right now. Turn around."
But it's more country twang to it.
Yeah.
And it's just so dumb.
It's so dumb.
But Christopher Plummer gives this fucking monologue about how his son was on the ship that was exploded by monsters. And I had no idea what they were talking about until the very end of the movie, because they keep bringing up the monsters. And apparently the monsters are supposed to be those weird, like lava lamp shit that happens at the planet.
Well, that's news to me. I'm glad you figured this out.
I figured it out.
Because they kept talking about the red monsters.
Yeah, the red monsters.
I'm
That's
like, what is
the weird bulbs,
Okay.
Waxy bulbs that kind of come into frame and make you go nutso and then explode your ship.
Okay. So
the dialogue in this movie is fucking terrible.
First of all, the whole movie is ADR'd.
Yes.
It's looped. And much like, and I just read this online, that apparently a ton of Italian movies were shot without sound back in the 70s, which makes sense because a lot of the spaghetti westerns, which were the 60s. But
so why would they do that, though? Do you know the reason?
Well, I know that like Hong Kong movies, like Bruce Lee movies, and
that they could just ADR like any type of language over it and then send it off to different countries.
That, and especially in Hong Kong, because the movies would always be released in Mandarin and Cantonese.
Oh,
so
I see. Okay.
they would because there's two languages that are dominant there. So they would. So, but also because then you wouldn't have to worry about any planes flying over, or you could be literally building the next set next door, pounding on and building shit.
Right.
So you could just turn these movies over quick. I don't know if that's the same case with Italian movies at this time, but it would make sense of like, we're going to release this in the foreign market. We're going to dub it over in like tons of other languages. And so just, forget
They're like,
it.
this movie's going to be huge. So we need to
we need to
do every language on the planet. Yeah.
Well, I will give them credit that
they did a good job syncing it up.
They did a good job syncing it up
on the main characters.
Absolutely. Like you could totally tell it was ADR, but the lips matched.
Yes.
Most of the time.
Yeah.
Now
for the Green Chief guy.
Yeah.
Thor, by the way, is his character's name.
Yep.
Didn't match at all.
Yeah, there's a couple of scenes.
He must have been speaking a different language.
There's a couple of scenes where it does match. There's a couple of scenes where it's like it looks like he's speaking a different language.
Yeah,
you're absolutely correct. But what I found was funny was Hasselhoff. You could tell did his own ADR. Christopher Plummer did his own ADR.
Yep.
I can't speak to if Stella Starr. I don't know what her real voice sounds like, but
I'm sure Caroline Munro.
Yeah.
I'm sure she did.
But yeah, the whole movie's ADR'd, and there's just some bizarre dialogue choices in this.
Dude,
movie.
It's like listener Keith said once again. It's like third grade.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the stuff they're saying is just gobbledygook. It's just nonsense. Just like a stream of consciousness, like the dumbest, lowest grade of anybody who has any understanding of what space is. Right. Like it's just the stupidest stuff,
or just weird stuff.
Vector 6, like they'll just throw shit out there.
And
look at Vector 6,
and there'll be awkward shit though too. Where it's like, "Come get me now," it'll be weird like dialogue like that. Like,
right?
Hey, act come get me now. Like what? So.
It's bizarre.
For some reason, because they found that abandoned ship that was...
so it turned out like the Emperor explains that his son was on that ship.
Was on one of the escaped ships.
Yes, was on the main ship, but then escaped.
Yeah.
Right?
What do they keep calling them, too? Because we were trying Launches.
They call them launches.
Yeah. And
that's one of those dumb throwaway things that they're just like, well, what?
They're escape pods.
Just call it an escape pod.
I don't think they had any sort of like.
It was obviously written by somebody who didn't speak English as a first language.
And they're just like, call them launches.
Yeah.
So there's like, at some point they say there's 5 launches. Is that?
No. Well, that's the thing with this whole fucking like numerous scenes in this movie. Like they're getting attacked by a bunch of these Amazon starships, and there's like. At one point, there's one left, and then on screen there's like 4 fighters. It's like what? And then they say there's 6.
Yeah, it just bounces all over.
It's just they're all.
And
over
then they cut to a shot, and there's like, no, there's 3.
No, there's 3.
It's so fucking dumb.
It's no sense at all. So. They go to, so the Emperor explains that his son was on there. We need to save the son, and we need to stop this bad guy who's behind all of it.
Yeah, and the Count. Yeah, who has a mystery planet where that's like a weapon. They kind of said something like...
Yeah, I didn't understand that. It's a hidden planet. It's where his lair is or something.
Yeah, and he's working on some devastating weapon there.
Yeah,
is what they say. So now at this point... They're just going to all of these planets where the launches
have crash
landed.
Yeah.
And they're looking for this dude's son.
Right. So the first planet they go to, they land on the beach.
Yeah.
They find the escape pod. They don't search it whatsoever.
Nope.
They get approached by 3 Amazons, which at this point I was like, oh, yes. Because this is what this type of movie needs, is some fucking nudity.
It is.
I thought we were going to get some nudity. I did not look at the rating before.
Yeah.
On the box, it's PG. There is no nudity in this movie.
Well, I figured there wouldn't be because it was a Star Wars sort of ripoff. So I figured there wouldn't be nudity.
Movie like this needs some boobs.
But that being said, the stuff that Stella Starr is wearing in the beginning or the most of this movie, and then crash landing on an Amazonian planet with
it made you hopeful.
But it's still pretty rad. they're all wearing
they're all wearing bikinis,
and there's like 20 or 30 ladies at some point in one of these scenes where they're all fighting. They're all gorgeous. I mean, wow. Like, again, if I was young Keith, I would have been eating all of this up. I can't believe I missed this movie, by the way, when I was younger.
I'd never seen this.
Yeah. I'd never seen it either.
Never. I don't think I ever knew it existed either. I do remember seeing Christopher Plummer in a couple of these get-ups, but I think maybe that's just from looking at Christopher Plummer images, maybe, in the past. But, yeah.
So they go to an Amazon planet. They find nothing here.
Right. The Amazons are working with the Count, apparently. And, like, the head Amazon, she has some sort of personal vendetta against them, which we never get. You never really find out what it's all about. But she activates, so Stella Star and the robot who she's with, Elle. Oh, we forgot to say that. Elle comes down. Oh, yeah. Her, right?
Elle is the country twang robot. Yeah.
And so they're together, and they go down to the planet. They don't search the thing, right? The crashed escape pod.
No.
They get caught by the Amazons. And then the Empress Amazon, like, tries to kill them. They escape. The Empress activates this massive robot with, this is the only nudity you get.
Oh, man.
Big old boobies with nipples.
With nipples.
Like with robot nipples.
Bolts for nipples,
yeah, they're bolts,
or whatever. Yeah.
Giant bolts. This thing is supposed to be like, 20 stories tall?
Oh, it's a big, tall robot. Like,
it's giant.
Like 20 stories, like the size of it. And she calls it like the Guardian, go get them or whatever.
And this is the first bit of, this is the second bit of stop motion.
Garbage stop motion.
Yeah. Because we forgot to mention that the Count has activated the golems.
That are like twin robot things.
Twin robot
with fucking
swords.
Pirate swords.
With just pirate
for no
swords.
reason.
Yeah.
So
this scene is bonkers.
This movie, what's funny too is there's a ton of like where Elle and Stella Star will go down to the planet, and Acton or whatever his name is,
he just stays behind.
He just stays behind on the ship.
Yeah.
And at some point you see him like he's just like fucking around, sitting up in the captain's chair of the ship. He's doing some shit with his hands.
Right.
And there's like
energy, like lights coming out of him.
Yeah. This is where you find out that this guy has some sort of
he's got some powers.
We should have mentioned too when the police say, "Hey, we need your help to come find this person." They mentioned that she's one of the best pilots in the universe, and and Acton's one of the best navigators in the universe.
Yes, right.
Okay, and apparently, if you're a good navigator, you have mystical powers with like energy that you can. And so, at some point, who's he talking to at that point? When is that the computer?
No, we don't see that yet. That's what
I thought. But he does say like, "I'm just practicing my skills," he says at some point.
I think that's at the next planet they go to. Yeah.
So you slowly learn that Acton or whatever, what is his name? Acton?
Acton.
Yeah. Acton. You find out that Acton, 1, never does a goddamn thing.
Nope.
Sits on the ship. 2, has magical powers.
Yep.
3, later on you find out he knows the future.
Yeah, and that comes out even later.
Yeah. But this dude somehow, for whatever reasons, unexplained, continues to get these powers, but yet then also lets his friends kind of like dick blowing in the wind on half of this shit.
Yeah,
and
pretty much.
And then every now and then
doesn't help out at all.
Every now and then he helps out, but most of the time he's off somewhere on a ship, and you're like, fucking, where's Acton? Can he come help them right now? Like, what's going on?
And a lot of these things too, it's like, just park the ship closer.
Yeah. What?
To where your end goal is.
Right.
Like,
why do they have to
why are you
walk
parking the ship so fucking far away?
I know.
Like the ship is always like way too far away.
Way too far away, yeah.
You know?
They're taking their own smaller ship down to the planet.
Yeah.
Sometimes they land the ship on the planet, but then they gotta go. Someone's like, what is fucking going on?
So they defeat the big giant guardian robot.
With one laser shot from the ship.
One laser shot from the ship. Because Acton, or the chief, who's flying it at this point.
Green-faced dude.
Green-faced dude. Is like, okay, well, we'll go down and get him, I guess. You know? And then they get out into space. Meanwhile, they've never searched this planet for any of the survivors.
But they do a
bodies.
throwaway line of like, we're sure he's not there or something. Something like that. Like there's no...
Yeah. And then get into this Amazon space battle, which goes on way too long.
And this is where you were talking about how the count's just completely off when it's like there's 5 ships, there's 4 ships, there's 1 ship.
Yeah.
And they're trying. This is where you could tell they're trying to do kind of Star Wars, where they're like Star Wars. Of course, they do dog fighting. That's from like old World War II movies, right?
Right.
So and they're shot for shot. And they're very kinetic in Star Wars. This is, every shot is still. So it's mostly them staring at a screen and yelling things at each other. And it's switching back.
And it's just nonsense
It's just complete
like
nonsense.
Vector 6.
And then it would switch to a...
Synthesize.
It'll switch to a static shot of these poorly crafted, superimposed ships with Christmas lights behind them.
Yeah.
It's just fucking painful, and it goes on way too long.
Goes on way too long.
Not exciting in any way.
And none of them really. I mean, Stella Star has some emotion to her face.
Yeah,
but this guy Acton, Marjo Gortner, really should work on like his fucking just emote a little bit.
For a person who in real life was so charismatic at 4 that he became a preacher.
Yeah. No charisma.
No charisma.
This guy's got
hardly.
no riz whatsoever.
And there's a presence about him where he just seems like a cocky dick too.
Yeah.
You're just always just like what?
Kind of a piece of shit.
I thought at some point he was going to do a turn where it was like he was a bad guy.
He was going to become a bad guy.
It was going to be like revealed that he was a bad guy the whole time, but he never makes that turn. He's just kind of a cocky asshole.
Yeah.
That lets his friends flounder until they really, really need him, and then he'll maybe show up and help them out.
Yeah. Just kind of a dick knuckle.
So I'll say this. For a movie that bit Star Wars, old George Lucas...
They beat Star Wars to the ice planet.
They're on the ice planet of Hoth in this movie.
Yeah.
And you get a green lightsaber before
Empire
Jedi.
and before Jedi.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hell
Totally.
yeah.
Yeah. So they land. The next planet they go to is the ice planet.
And when they find the wreckage on this planet, it's clear that no one could have survived it.
Yeah. It was they find a bunch of frozen, stiff bodies.
Yeah.
And Stella is really sad.
Well, and this is the first time where they actually put Stella in some proper clothes.
Yes,
they're like,
she actually has a suit on.
You're going to this ice planet. We're gonna at least put some leggings on you.
Yeah, but she's still wearing high heels.
Yeah,
hiking around in the snow. This poor actress.
Yeah.
So they start the hike back to the ship. Meanwhile, on the ship, the chief reveals that he is
working with
the Count.
Yeah.
And so he, clubs Acton, seemingly to death, and then tries to take off. And the computer for the ship that are in, by the way, which is a giant brain. That's in the front of the ship.
Like giant. When we say giant brain, we mean like you can walk up and put a beer on top of it, like a. What would you say the size of it was? Like a.
I'd say roughly
boulder.
the size of a very large boulder.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's like glowing.
And it's a brain.
It's glowing. It's translucent.
And it's got veins.
It's got veins.
Yeah.
And this is where we see Acton doing his he's playing with his energy, and then we find out that this brain is a computer, and he actually calls it ship's computer.
Right.
This is another clunky dialogue where he's like doing the shit with his hands, and then a voice off camera goes, "What are you doing, Acton?" or whatever, and he walks over. "Well, ship's computer, I'm training my skills," or whatever. Like, it's so fucking random and out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And as he's talking to the computer, the green-faced dude clubs him. Thor clubs him, and
he tries to take off, and the brain says, "We're having a malfunction."
Yeah, that's right.
And he's like, "Well, fix the malfunction." He's like, and the brain is like, "I can't."
And so he
starts taking shit apart.
Yeah,
Meanwhile,
and at some point he talks to them down on the planet, tells them.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Meanwhile, like Stella Star and Elle make it back to the ship, and they're like, "Okay, let us on."
That's right. Yeah.
The sun is starting to set. We're going to freeze to death out here. And he's like, "No, I work with the Count,
and I just killed Acton,
and I'm going to take off, and you guys are going to be fucked." And so they're like, "Oh shit!" And so they go lay down in the snow. Elle says, "Okay, lay down." Facing up, and I'm going to hold your hand, and I'm going to keep your heart working. You will go into a state of suspended animation.
This was an interesting dialogue scene too, because when, first of all, imagine this black weird
penis shaped
robot, speaking with a like a cowboy accent, country twang. Says to her, "Lay down, face up," and I was like, "Boy, this is getting real fucking weird." And then he
finally going to get raunchy.
Yeah, hold my hand, and I'm going to do this thing. And then she looks at him and goes, "Elle, I just want to let you know that you're
you're just the best.
You're the best." And I was like, I was thinking like, "Oh, this robot's going to get creepy." And then when her dialogue comes on, I was like, "Oh, she wants to fuck this robot."
yeah.
It's really weird, dude.
Yeah, I mean, look at the helmet,
he's getting rapey, and then she's like, "No, I want to fuck you." You're, and then they get frozen over.
I'm into this.
Yeah.
And then there's this, just real shitty time lapse of just like. And like nothing matches up.
No.
Like whenever they do this too, like the stop motion or these special effects shots and stuff like that, like the frames don't match up right. So it's like gets really blurry and shifty too. And so they're covered with snow.
Well, that was what's weird about it too. It's like it's not fucking snowing, so they lay down and then all of a sudden
they just ice over.
They just ice over, and then all of a sudden, then they're under snow when they.
Yes.
But at no point is it snow. It's just like, what is going on?
No.
So fucking
they didn't
dumb.
think that through. But so Acton, not dead, by the way. He gets back up, has a fight with the chief, Thor, and finally his powers have now fully coalesced.
Yeah, he
is able to basically just fend off shots from a laser pistol.
That's right.
Right? Like he just absorbs
I totally forgot about this.
He just totally absorbs it, and Thor's like, "How are you living through this? This is supposed to like disintegrate you or whatever.
No one can survive this.
Nobody can survive these powerful laser shots." And Acton says something stupid and then like basically uses the Force to like shoot lasers back at him.
That's right.
And he kills Thor. Opens the gate, tells Elle to reactivate and bring Stella back onto the ship. She's like frozen into an ice cube. They thaw her out. And then the big reveal is that Acton, to disable the ship, took out this little tiny like power source thing. Because he knew that Thor was a bad guy.
Right.
And Stella's like, "Oh my God, you knew. You can tell the future."
Yeah.
And Acton's like, "Yes.
Well,
I can."
Yeah,
he goes, "Well, why didn't..." And Stella says, "Well, why didn't you tell us sooner?" He's like, "Because that's against the law."
Yeah, it's against the law for me to tell you the future.
Because you can't change the future.
Because it's against the law.
It's against the law to change the future. So And I was like, at this point, like, wait a minute. If you're talking about the destruction of the universe, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's more against the law. Like,
right.
you're working for the Emperor. So I'm sure there would be some leeway
Like they were
as to like what laws you can fucking disregard in this type of situation. You're basically at war.
Yeah.
Like the you know, conventional laws don't apply to these situations. If you know the future, dude, then fucking help out a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe we could kind of like skip a bunch of this shit.
Again, what is the purpose of this character acting in this movie too, by the way? He has these powers.
Right.
He doesn't like at no
doesn't
point
use them.
At no point does he really he kind of uses them.
I guess he does.
But
he does to a certain extent.
He just has them.
Yes.
There's no explanation as to why. And then it kind of shows him monkeying around with his hands like he's training. There's no character arc. Like what is his
And again, he's so stiff. As an actor, he's so stiff.
He kind of looks like somebody
who's no real emotion.
Who'd be like the lead singer of like Starship or Air Supply.
Jefferson Starship?
Yeah. Like Air Supply or something.
Yeah,
He's fucking stupid looking. And here, because we have it running in the background too, let's not forget.
Yeah.
Halfway through the movie, all of a sudden they start doing sort of Star Wars wipes, like the transition wipes.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's so out of nowhere. You're like,
yeah, it just kind of starts in the middle of the movie.
And it ends too. It's like, in the first 20 minutes of the middle of the movie.
They should have utilized it a lot more. Oh, and the music cuts out like really abruptly.
The music is done by John Barry, who did music for like
James Bond movies,
like a bunch of movies. It's
and
wild,
super recognizable. Just like he was kind of like you said while we were watching it, kind of phoned it in.
Yeah, because he did the music for Game of Death, which was Bruce Lee's last movie that came out in '78.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of musical cues in this that sound like that. This dude just must have been taking paychecks left and right, because I mean, he just must have been like, I've got some shit I can hodgepodge together and throw out there, because it's pretty unremarkable sounding.
Right. And it's the same score throughout too. Like it doesn't change.
Well, it's funny to me on these movies too, where they're like, okay, all you need to do to make a Star Wars movie is throw in some effects, throw in something like the Force.
You need lasers, laser sword, and
space magic, and then an orchestral soundtrack.
Right,
and you're fine. That's it. That's all you need.
That's all you need.
That's all you need.
You don't even really need a story.
Yep. Nope.
You don't need to explain how any of this exists. Yeah.
Christ. So they thaw her out. I don't even remember what fucking planet they make it to next. Is this the troglodyte planet?
I think the next one is the troglodyte planet. Yeah.
Which is like cavemen.
Yeah. So they go to this like craterous volcanic planet. They find the next shipwreck. And then they get attacked by a bunch of cavemen, troglodytes.
Yeah, and the cavemen...
And overpowered like very quickly with dudes with clubs. And
they completely destroy Elle.
Right. Yeah.
And then they take her off to like a cave.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then a dude shows up with the dumbest...
Kind of like Leia, how the Ewoks take Leia.
Exactly like that.
Like how the Ewoks take like Han Solo and Luke and stuff, and they tie them.
Yeah.
Right? And then carry them over. They do the same thing.
Fuck.
Holy shit, dude. I think fucking George Lucas stole some shit from
Star Crash, bro.
I think
when it comes to Empire and Return of the Jedi.
Because they have her tied to like a piece of ship wreckage, right?
Yeah, and
she's hanging upside down, and they're carrying her just like the Ewoks are carrying.
Yep, Han
Han and Luke and Chewbacca.
Almost not a spit.
Yes.
How do you call that? I don't know.
I don't
know. Real weird looking scene too, where all the cavemen are like dancing around.
They're dancing in the background.
Yeah, it's
with fires going.
Fucking.
And
so
she's
stupid.
hanging upside down near a fire. And I don't know if it was supposed to be supposed to make it look like she was over a fire.
Yeah, I don't get that either.
But she wasn't cooking, so...
So a dude shows up with this weird, dumb-looking gold helmet on and starts shooting lasers at the caveman.
Out of his eyes.
Out of his eyes.
Yeah.
And then saves her, and they run off into this cave.
Yeah.
And then he takes his helmet off.
It's David Hasselhoff.
It's David Hasselhoff. He's the guy who's they're looking for, who crashed.
Right.
And Hasselhoff does a throwaway line where it's like, it's an energy helmet. Its power is limited.
She didn't even ask.
No, you're right. He just
offers up that information.
Oh, this is an energy.
Oh, it's an energy helmet.
But the power is limited. Meaning I can't use it anymore.
Right. Because he could obviously barely see in it.
Yeah.
Like when he sits down in the cave,
it's so
you can tell he's like putting his hand around the set just to find where he's supposed to sit.
Yeah. And when he does remove the helmet, the gold helmet to reveal a hair helmet underneath.
Yeah.
He's a beautiful man.
He is.
I can see why Hasselhoff, like when you see him in this movie, you're like, I see.
He
why
would have
this
been
guy,
like 28, 29.
I could see why he got his own TV show.
Oh yeah.
And why he has endured through the years, and why the Germans fell in love with him.
When did Knight Rider come out?
Knight Rider probably came out in I would guess like 83, maybe 82.
Would it have
83?
been that early?
Yeah, I think so.
So, yeah, man. Wow.
Yeah.
Real looker, that guy.
Yeah.
Real Adonis.
So they get attacked again by the cavemen.
Right. And then Acton finally shows up.
Finally, here comes
with
Acton.
a laser sword.
Yeah, green lightsaber-esque laser sword.
Slashes everybody to bits. And he's the savior.
He is.
Yep.
Boy, and I don't know what happens after this.
So then Acton reveals because they're like, okay, we know now we need to go find the the Count's secret lair. And Acton goes, why would we do that?
Oh, that's right.
It's here.
It's here.
And they're like, how? And they're like, because of what. Now remember what somebody told us. I can't remember who told them this.
I don't remember this either. Was it
the Emperor? Brain or something like that told them on the ship.
I thought maybe the Emperor was like, you'll find two monsters, or you'll fight.
Oh yeah,
you'll fight two enemies, one a monster.
Oh, that's right, because they fought the monster, the red fucking lava lamp monster, before they got down to this planet, right?
So this is how we know this is like, what? When did they ever say that? I don't even remember that shit.
And it's just the dumbest fucking reveal ever.
And then here's Acton. They find the lair. And he's giving them like a fucking tour. He's like,
it's so ridiculous.
So bad.
And remember when they're walking into it too? They're walking through this corridor, but the special effects that they use
it's like
to like make it look like they're walled in this huge man-made facility.
Yeah, it's like
it's done so poorly that it plays a trick on your brain, so you have no idea what's going on.
No, it's like an optical composite. It is.
Yeah, it's a composite image.
Or it could be what do you call that shit where you paint on glass? It could be.
Oh my
God! Why?
I don't think it is though, because it looked like it was like a model set.
Either way, the perspective of the thing that's over the top of one thing, are completely two different perspectives.
Yes,
so you can't fucking understand what it is. Like are they walking down a hallway? I guess.
Yeah, or on some sort of I couldn't figure it out. My brain could not.
Matte painting is what I was trying to think of. Matte painting.
My brain couldn't figure it out.
You're like, what are they supposed to be doing here? And I go, I think it's a hallway. They're walking
because I couldn't tell if it was supposed to be some sort of huge elevated walkway over a cavernous
And so they go in, and he's like, this is the main computer place here.
And he's literally acting as a tour guide.
Yeah.
He's showing them this, and he does that thing where he lifts his hand and points to this side. And he's like, here's this over here. Then he does it with the other hand. He goes, here's this over here. And they're like, wow.
Yeah, she even says
this is amazing.
She's like, these smart computers could do
They could
whatever.
run forever.
And he's like, yeah. And then oh yeah, that's right. They could run forever. And then he goes, and they could also create metal monster images just like the ones we've been fighting. It makes your brain think you see metal monsters or something like
no, the red monsters.
The red monsters.
Yeah.
But he says of metal at some point or something like, what?
Oh, I don't.
The fuck are you talking about?
It was so dumb. It was like, okay, the red monster doesn't actually exist. It was only in your minds.
Fuck.
I was like, what? Okay.
Yeah, and then
and then that's when you find out too. It's like, oh, those are the monsters. The weird fucking lava lamp.
I still cannot believe that's
the monster.
Okay, I still don't.
What the fuck?
So now this is where my brain gets foggy because at this point I want this fucking nonsense to end.
Oh yeah, it's gone on way too long.
So does he say like we'll wait for him to come here because it's his lair?
No, I think they were going to try to destroy it. Right?
But then the Count shows up, and he's got the two golems.
He's got the two golems and a small platoon of.
Oh, that's right. And then he says, "That's right." The Count says, "I told the Emperor." This is what I didn't get either. He said, "I told the Emperor that we found you here, and he's on his way here now. And when he gets here, I'm going to use my super duper weapon. I'm going to blow this whole place up with all of you here."
Right. Yeah.
Which I thought was like, why would the Emperor trust you? Hey, yo, it's me. It's the Count. We found your son. He's on this planet. Come get him. Bye.
Yeah.
You know, like, why would...
Right.
Like, so...
Makes no sense.
Then he says to the golems, guard them, keep them here, kill them if necessary, and then leaves.
It's like they're going to die anyway.
Well, kill them.
The whole point is to kill them anyway,
then.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, and so...
Just do it.
So... Oh, and then this is... So, Acton takes out his laser sword and starts fighting the golems.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he takes a slice from one of the pirate swords in his arm.
Yeah.
And he falls down, and Hasselhoff picks up...
Well, after he kills one of them. He does kill one of the golems.
And the other one hits him in the arm,
Yeah.
drops the sword. Hasselhoff picks it up, fights the other golem, wins. And then they're like, Acton, come on, let's go. And he does this whole bullshit again, like, no, I got to stay here. It's my destiny. I have to die here or something.
Yeah, and then the Emperor shows up. Acton dies, basically disappears, like Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Just like Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yep. And then 30 seconds later, here comes
the Emperor. Walks down. And Christopher Plummer is just really chewing the fucking scenery, dude. He talks so slow.
And
they reveal to the Emperor, it's like, hey, we've got 48 seconds before this thing goes off. And Christopher Plummer is just fucking talking real slow. Like 48 seconds has passed, right? In real time, right? And then he's like, well, being the Emperor, I have some tricks up my sleeve as well. And so apparently on his ship, he can stop time for 3 minutes.
Yeah, he has
a time stopper ray.
Time stopper ray. And he's like, I can slow this 48 seconds down to, I can extend it out to 3 minutes.
Well, you can stop time. He says he can stop time for 3 minutes.
Oh, it's okay. That's what it is. It's stop time, not slow it down, but stop time for 3 minutes.
Stops time for 3 minutes,
which is more.
Meanwhile, they got to get out of this facility.
She even says though, she goes, 3 minutes is enough. Is totally enough time for us to get out.
No, that's what Sam says.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Someone says some bullshit that's like.
Big reveal, by the way. David Hasselhoff is Sam, the son of the Emperor. Which is duh.
That's what I thought too when he says it. I was like,
yeah.
Don't we know that by now? Isn't that who we're looking for?
He goes, I'm sorry I didn't tell you.
Yeah.
To Stella Star.
I didn't know if I could trust you.
Stella looks mad.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't tell me you were the son of the Emperor?
I didn't know if I could trust you. Now I can.
Fucking stupid.
So fucking dumb.
But so they stop time for 3 minutes. They somehow get back onto the ship, onto the Emperor's ship. And then they go chasing after. The planet blows up, of course.
Yeah.
They go chasing after the...
Well, the Emperor says he thinks we're dead now.
Oh, right. That's right.
And
so
so
let's send out our
entire fleet
and our entire fleet
to his hidden planet.
And this is where we get those shots that are just being recycled
of ships
over
flying
and over
out
of ships taking off. It's the same 2 ships that are taking off over and over from the commanding ship.
Yeah,
the Emperor's ship.
It's like a tunnel launch.
Yeah,
you're seeing it from over and over and
over. And then they show the recycled shots of them actually flying in pairs through space.
Yeah.
And it's just so stupid, and it's so drawn out and so
so not interesting to watch.
Yeah, much like this episode.
And they're to listen to. Yeah, and so then he says, you and the prince. What is his name? Victor? Is that what you said it is?
I think it's Sam.
Sam. You and Sam. I don't even know, something about star crashing at some point. What the fuck did that come?
Well, so they attack the Count's ship, right, and they lose the attack. Oh, this was great too, because like they're attacking, and by the way, the Count's ship is just a big claw. It's a big claw hand.
Yeah, that's right.
That when they attack, the fingers and the thumb come down and like make a fist. And it's the dumbest thing you've ever seen.
While all this was going on, I'm searching Christopher Plummer, his age, on my phone. So I missed
Camaro Kev is no longer watching the movie.
I was just trying to figure out how old Christopher Plummer is. By the way, he's 91.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they shoot off, the Emperor shoots off like these torpedoes.
I missed
these
all
torpedo tubes, and the torpedoes like go and crash through the walls, the windows of the Count's ship, and there's 2 people in each one of these.
And they're
torpedoes.
climbing out
they jump out and they start shooting lasers and stuff. And at one point, the Count is like walking on this causeway or like elevated walkway, like directing his troops to kill them all, kill. Oh yeah, that's what he said. Kill.
And there's
and he yells for one of his soldiers, and he goes, Eric.
Eric, come here.
Eric, come here. Oh god, it's like none of this was fucking thought out at all. This was just written on the fly. It was so bad. But they win. They win that battle.
Yeah.
And then, we go back to the Emperor's ship, and the Emperor's like, there is one last resort. And I was like, oh, they're going to stop time.
Yeah, I mean,
and then
why
blow
wouldn't
up
you?
The ship? Why wouldn't you use the fucking time stopper ray? No. He goes, Star Crash.
There's
Star
the title of the
Crash.
movie.
And it was like, what's a star crash? And it was like, well, we have this floating city. We have this space city. And we're going to evacuate that space city, and we're just going to ram it into the Count's ship. And they're like, yeah, perfect fucking idea. So then David Hasselhoff and Stella Starr take a ship and go to the city.
Dumb looking city, too.
Dumb looking city.
Really dumb.
And then Stella has
Surprise.
to pilot the city, and David Hasselhoff is going to rescue her when she ejects.
That's
and,
right.
Leaves it, right?
But
then he's got a surprise for her. He's like, ever since we left the planet, our scientists have been working on a special friend of yours. And they bring back L. L.
I finally get to fuck you, L.
Yeah. Penis-shaped robot.
And he's like,
Penis-shaped Darth Vader robot.
And my parts are way better now.
Yeah.
My components are amazing. Or something he says.
I feel like a whole new robot.
Yeah. They gave me a big dong. Check it out. Whoops, no, they didn't. God damn it. I thought I had a dong.
My crotch is now a simian.
Instead of his whole head?
Yeah. My whole head's a vibrator. My whole head's a butt plug now. Oh, my God, dude.
Oh, God.
So they get over to the city and they pilot it to crash to star crash into the Count's ship.
Yep.
They bail out and David Hasselhoff picks him up.
Yep.
Oh, not yet. I mean, it crashes into the Count's ship.
That's right.
The Count refuses to leave the ship and just, blows
Burns,
up.
yeah.
And then so Stella Star and Elle are floating around in space after this explosion.
It's awful.
And she yells out to David Hasselhoff, "We're right here.
Yeah, we're right here.
We're right here." And Sam picks him up. And this was kind of a funny thing too, like when they finally come back in, and David Hasselhoff's character goes, "Stella," and Stella goes, "Sam," and then Sam goes, "Stella," and then Stella goes, "Sam,"
and
then they hug,
and Elle's awkwardly standing between them too.
Yeah, and he says something
real dumb.
Real stupid, and then they just hug. They don't kiss.
No,
there's no makeout sesh.
Nope.
They just hug.
Yep.
A tight embrace. Mm-hmm. And then we get one last monologue from Christopher Plummer.
Sure do, yeah.
That was not well thought out.
No. Was it something about we have
won,
but there'll be a time when
there will be a time when there will be more
something like this will happen again. No, I assure you there won't. There is no Star Crash 2.
As of right now, everything is well.
There is no Star Crash sequel, Christopher. So it will not happen again.
Yeah. Thank
the
Christ. Oh my God, this movie, dude. This movie. I don't know if I enjoyed it or not.
I don't know if I did either.
I don't know if I enjoyed it or not. It could have used some nudity.
I mean, okay, again, it's a Star Wars movie. We did get some foxy chicks in bikinis running around.
Yeah,
large portion of the movie.
What does that have to do with anything? There could be nudity in sci-fi movies.
I know, but I don't think in 1978, if you're doing a Star Wars wannabe, clearly you want to get the kids.
That's true. That is a good point.
You want to make it safe for kids. So I think that's why. But still, safe for kids. Again, she runs around and it's when we say bikini, it's a pretty revealing bikini. It's not, which is great. I thought.
It was.
I don't know what to say. I mean,
it felt like it went on too long.
It went on too long.
Some of the scenes are just so boring. It's like the fight scenes are so boring. So boring.
And it's nuts that they made this movie.
Yes.
Just how it's so stitched together with all these crazy different effects that many of them don't work. I mean, it's such a hodgepodge put together kind of piece of shit.
Yeah.
It's not really entertaining. I don't even know. It's it is one of these movies that's so bad it's good, I guess, which I'm not big about. I'm not big into the bad they're good movies.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this much though. If I would have seen this son of a bitch playing on Q13 when I was around 10 years old,
I would have been into it.
Which sounds like what Keith had going on. Right. I would have totally been into it.
I would have been into it too, and this movie probably would have held a lot more nostalgia for me.
Absolutely.
Like something like Ice Pirates.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because Ice Pirates is very similar to this.
True.
Very similar to this. And I enjoyed watching Ice Pirates because of the connection I had to that movie when I was a kid.
Yeah. And like I said to you, I was like, how did I miss this movie? How did I never see it?
I have no idea. How did this not get played on
late night somewhere?
Yes.
I mean, Channel 11, Channel 13.
I'm sure it did.
TBS.
I'm sure it did.
Yeah, because it is bad, but it's there's plenty of bad looking movies that ran on all of the stations I just said when I was a kid. Yeah. This would have fit right in perfectly.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. I mean, boy, it didn't look all that great.
No,
on Blu-ray.
No,
either. This movie suffered a lot from superimposed images on top of
optical
film,
degradation.
optical degradation, stuff like that. A lot of the other stuff is very clear when you're not talking about, the superimposed special effects. But I will say, I think this movie, because we did watch like kind of a trailer reel of the original movie, not cleaned up.
Oh yeah,
and the special effects looked better.
Yeah,
almost,
you even
because
said
it was so much muddier.
Yeah,
like,
so muddier.
The picture overall was so much muddier, and
the cleaning up of this movie,
up of it did it some disservice.
Yeah,
I
agree. It's jarring. Like we're having it play in the background right now, and we're seeing a dialogue scene as Acton is dying, and it's very clear.
It is very clear,
well lit, very clear, and then you'll jump to some sort of a starship or them battling with laser swords or lasers, and it'll just go to dog shit. It's jarring, night and day jarring, how crisp and clear to just like fuzzy, out of focus, dull looking, and it jumps back and forth between that, and it's very jarring, and it gives it just an even cheaper look.
Yes,
actually,
very much so. I will say this too. One thing that I did notice in a few scenes is that Marjoe Gortner's face, the guy who plays Acton, right? Marjoe Gortner.
Yes.
Gortner.
Yes.
Marjoe. What the fuck? I thought at first when I saw that name,
we gotta be mispronouncing
I was like,
something.
we gotta be mispronouncing something. This guy must be foreign. No, grew up in Los Angeles.
That was great. I thought for sure. He was like some sort of an Italian pop star or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
But his face,
yes,
very orange.
Yeah,
does not match the color of the skin on his neck.
Yes,
much like a certain ex-president.
Yes. Yeah.
I had to point that out.
Yeah, very orange-looking man for sure.
Yep.
So, one more thing. Having been a fan in this time period, probably a few years after this, so it's like 78, so like 79, 80 was when you had Buck Rogers, and Battlestar Galactica, and all of these TV shows that were again riding the Star Wars coattail,
Sure.
There is a look to this. There's a look to this that very much is like Buck Rogers, the TV series, and that's the part for me where it's like, this is a movie, but it looks very much like those TV shows of that time.
Yeah.
Overlit. Costumes are cheap looking.
Although I will say that like the stop motion and a lot of the special effects in Buck Rogers were better than this.
The space battles for sure.
Yeah.
Like the ships and stuff like that. But
like they spent more time on planning that kind of stuff out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, here we go.
Yeah. How many Blu Its? How many Blu Its, Kev? I'm giving it 1.5.
I'm going to give it 2. That's what I had in my mind. 2. 2 Blu Its. Again.
And I would recommend watching it.
Yeah.
If this is your thing.
If you like movies that are so bad they're good, or you like, and I guess this is a Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Yeah, we did read that we were.
I didn't know
watching the end credits.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't watch. I watched that show when it first came out a little bit, but wasn't a big fan. So I apologize if you're thinking like, oh great, they're doing this movie that Mystery Science has done. It's like, I don't know what movies they've done before because I didn't watch it a whole lot, but this makes sense why this would be on there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. 2 Blu Its.
1.5 for me.
Yeah.
And like I said, I would, if you're into, bad sci-fi like Ice Pirates and going back and kind of like following along with us in this kind of stuff, then go ahead and watch it.
Yeah. And
only
if you
an
like
hour and
seeing,
it's an hour and a half, but it feels like a lot longer.
Yeah, and if you like seeing some very nice-looking ladies in bikinis, and Amazon outfits,
you can always fast forward to the Amazon.
Yep.
chapter. Yeah, totally. All right. I've got no dialogue.
Oh,
I can't remember a goddamn line.
Oh, yeah. You could just do the Eric line.
Oh, yeah.
You just do that. Ready?
What's he say? What's he say? I can't remember his say.
Eric, get over here.
Hey, Eric, get over here.
Come here, Eric.
Cut, Brent.